It's the SawCast and it's the Minicast, and I'm your host Ariel.
And I go by the name of
And we
Stevo.
have a special guest. Special guest, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Helen, and I am Stephen and Ariel's grandmother.
Yes,
We got the wisdom on here today.
I am 63 years old,
Okay.
and I have 5 beautiful children.
Yes,
I
sir.
have 4 girls and a son.
Okay. So we wanted my grandmother on the podcast because she's very, very knowledgeable, and I feel like we don't like a lot of people in our family don't get they don't utilize the knowledge that she has. She has so much, and it's like, why haven't we tapped into that? So I kind of want to tap into that.
I really just feel like as youth we don't really learn from our elders, honestly.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times, like speaking like just about relationships, we don't ask. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, with our grandparents and older and other elders in the family, they've been through it already. So why not ask somebody who's went through it?
Yeah. So I'm so excited, Granny, for you to be here. All right, let's jump into it.
Okay.
Okay, so you were in you were married, and then I believe your husband died, and then you got into a relationship, and it was long term. So my question to you is marriage necessary? Do you think that's necessary? And like, how necessary is it in order for your relationship to?
I feel like for stability, it's necessary. But just to be in the long-term relationship, marriage is not totally necessary. I mean, it is in God's eyes.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, for instance, my special other passed away
Mm-hmm.
after a 37-year relationship.
Yeah.
Then I wasn't stable because I could not, because while he was here, he helped me a lot
Yeah.
as far as finances. But once he was gone, I couldn't collect his pension, or I couldn't collect his Social Security. So now I'm in a home, and I don't have the stability I had when he was here.
Right.
Because we got the home together.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why marriage, I believe, would be important for stability.
Okay.
But as far as everything else, you think that it's
But
basically the same?
It's basically the same. I mean, it's just marriage is a piece of paper.
Do you think it's important though? I mean, I guess for the stability aspect, like it is important.
It's definitely
would you
important.
like, you could go back? Would you do that?
If I could go back, I would most definitely be married.
Okay.
Yes, most definitely. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So like she said, Stephen, it's like it's based off of I think that's basically sounds right. Like, stability wise, if you're with somebody, and that, I mean, is there other ways you can get that stuff without being married, or is that the way,
Or is that the only way?
Well,
like power of attorney or something
Right.
like that? I don't know. But.
well, I guess if they leave it to you, like he left me his 401k,
Right.
but that wasn't enough to
Sustain you forever.
right.
Yeah.
And I mean, even if it was vice versa, I would have wanted to leave him taken care of as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I guess there's other ways you could he could put you in a will.
Okay.
Or
but if you're married, it's just automatic.
it's automatic.
Okay, so you don't have to go through as many loopholes. It'll just be guaranteed.
Yep.
So honestly, that's a very interesting, because I feel like that's important. Like,
Yeah.
that's very
is.
important, man. Like,
Yeah.
you're in a relationship and stuff like that, but just thinking about y'all's future and stuff like that is very important when you're about to be in a relationship. So I think that's what I took from that. What you take from it, Steven?
Yeah, it's
Hmm.
basically it's important both, but it seems like marriage is like okay, when you leave, your spouse being taken care of after you gone.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's like okay, so you don't have to worry about running through hoops or your spouse dealing with. I guess maybe what would a family member inherit that a different family.
Well, actually, the state will take it.
Oh, so the state will take
Yeah,
it.
the state, like, they got our Willie's money.
I
They're
didn't know that.
terrible.
Yeah.
I didn't know
They're
that.
terrible.
Wow. So
So
the
it don't
Yeah.
state
even go
took
to the
it.
kids, man.
If they underage. Lil Willie was over. Lil
What?
Willie and Sharon were too old.
What?
Yes. The
Somebody need to
kids
do something
could
about
draw.
that
Yeah. The
because
kid.
that's terrible.
It is trouble.
Wow. I
Yeah.
never knew that.
And I mean,
That's
you never know
that's
when you
insane.
gonna lose somebody. You just never
Right,
know.
right. Like even if you in a relationship for 5 years and
Right.
y'all develop that where y'all are stable, but y'all not married, and something happens to one of the people randomly, you can't. You
Mm-hmm.
still be in the same
You
situation.
be in the same situation. Now, if you have children by him,
Hmm.
like I said, if you got children, they could draw his social security. But if you don't,
Only if they're
Wow.
underage, though, right?
if they underage,
That's
Wow.
weird.
yeah.
Why would they? Now
Anyways,
that's
a
a
whole
cripple.
different other story.
That's a crippling loophole in the system
In the system.
that most people don't know about because I didn't know about that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the next question is long term relationship or marriage. Since we still on that topic, which one did you like the best? I mean, I guess you were only in your marriage not that long.
I wasn't in it long, but I like being married.
More.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you ever bring that up to like granddaddy, like that you
Right,
wanted
that
to be
you-
married? How did that go?
Yeah. Like, wait, was that a conversation?
Well, he asked, and I said no,
Hmm.
Ah.
and then
I'm sure he asked.
as time went
Right.
on, I was like, when are we gonna get married?
Right.
And he never said when, so
Oh,
I
okay.
left it alone.
I mean, cause I mean, like you were saying, you was take everything else was there, like
I left it alone.
Right.
everything else was there. So it's like,
I just left it alone, and that's probably one of the biggest mistakes I've made
why do you think that?
in my life.
Yeah.
Like I said, because I'm not stable now,
Mhm.
which I would have been had we gotten married. You know what I'm saying? I'd be financially okay,
Hmm.
Okay.
and I'm not. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not like where you want to be, of
right?
course.
Is where
So-
I want to be.
Yeah. After the passing of
Right,
our
because I
grandfather.
mean, and when we were together, we did it together. But just to think, for one of y'all to be gone now, and one person doing something that two people were used to doing,
Hmm.
so it just makes a big difference.
So it's just a rough adjustment, probably emotionally and financially for sure.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
Hmm.
So what do you think, like, other than stability, what are the differences you think between being married and being
Being
in a
long
long-term
term.
relationship? Other
Being
than
married and just being in a
that.
long
Yeah.
term.
Is there any
Yeah.
other differences? that you
What do
think
you
of?
feel like?
Not really. I mean, because I feel like we done the same things in our relationship as I did in the relationship that I was married in.
Mhm.
I mean,
Family-wise.
I mean, we were in love. We were
Yeah.
in love, and yeah, we had family functions. We went out together. I mean, it's pretty much the same
Yeah.
as being married,
Yeah.
but only you can't say my husband or my wife.
Right.
Mhm.
You know, but it's a certain type of feeling when you say that. It really
Can you
is.
explain that a little bit?
I
or
I mean
try?
it's
Like, how is it calling somebody your wife or
your
it
husband?
sounds like a
It's
responsibility
it's
behind
beautiful.
that too.
It's
No,
beautiful.
It's not.
it's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
I really have to tell y'all that's
What?
beautiful. My husband
It's
or my
beautiful to
wife.
hear that.
It's something that I would want you
To
all
experience.
to experience. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. It's beautiful to say my husband. I mean, it's not ownership, but it's sort of like, ownership. I mean, but it's not. You
Yeah,
know,
like that's your husband.
he's
like
your,
y'all,
he's
yeah,
your
he's yours.
husband.
You're his wife.
Right.
Y'all are one.
Y'all are, and it
And
is.
y'all have y'all's family. This
Mhm.
is y'all's house.
Yes.
This is y'all's. It is.
It is. Yes.
So, like,
Okay.
how long were you married?
Well, honestly, I never got divorced.
Right, because he died.
Right.
Right. So I never
okay.
divorced, but we were in our marriage together for like 3 years.
3 years.
hmm
Okay.
We were going together for like 4 years. So we were together all together like 7 years.
7. Okay.
Yeah. And we
So,
were
so I didn't, he
married
died
for 3.
He died when everybody was young. Then.
Yeah, we were young. I was 19.
No, I'm saying like the kids were young when he died. I didn't know they were that young.
Well, he died when he was 36.
36.
Yeah, he died when he was 36
How old
years
were you when you got married to him, and how old was he?
Yeah.
I was 19,
Okay.
and he was 19. We the same age.
What?
His birthday is November, and mine's is October.
Okay.
So he's like a month or so older than me.
Wait, okay, hold
did-
on.
didn't
Now,
he say-
No, wait a minute. He was born in 55. I was born in 56.
Oh.
So he's some months. He's some months older.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you
Okay.
said he died when he was 30 something.
He died when he was 30. He did. He was
So, wait a minute.
36.
You were so. I thought you said y'all was together for 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah. Well, yeah. She said 36, and they
He
was
was-
together when y'all was 19. Y'all got together.
19.
That's 16
We-
years.
Huh?
But we
Oh.
wasn't together the
Oh.
whole time.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that
So y'all
makes
met
sense.
when
Yeah,
y'all
we
was
wa-
19,
we
but y'all
had
wasn't
split
together.
up.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm like, dang, y'all-
Wait, because I did have to calculate that. I was
Yeah,
like, wait a
we-
minute,
we
I ain't
were-
carrying a 1.
Yeah, we were separated.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
When
then
he
y'all got back
died, we
together.
were separated.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Wait, so
Oh.
y'all were still married though?
We were still married.
Oh, that's
Okay.
interesting.
Actually, he was still on my insurance from Hardee's.
Oh yeah, you had that plan back
Yeah, she
then.
did have that. That was good.
And
Good
and
plan.
see, that's just to go to show you about that stability thing. You know, we wasn't together, but I just left it, not thinking that something was gonna happen to him. I just hadn't, readjusted things, and I was lucky. And I mean,
Do you have life insurance on you?
that's what I'm saying.
Oh, you
Yeah.
did.
Right.
Oh,
That's why she said she was lucky
Wow.
enough.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, I had life insurance.
that is so important that we
Yeah.
have this conversation. Like,
Man, she's teaching us some
You
things
would
right
think
now.
that-
I hope so.
you would really think that like it's the same, but once you start putting that stability in there, that's life. Like life is
It is
unstable.
It is very.
So to have some stability in it somewhere,
Mhm.
it sounds
It's
like that's important.
It is.
Man,
This is very
'cause-
important. Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Sheesh.
All right, so really what I really wanted to talk to you about, Nina, was because that for sure I needed that.
Okay.
But like I'm in a position as a independent woman, you know what I'm saying, who graduated. I got, I'm doing pretty well for myself. When men mess up, I tend to let them go, or I tend to let them go relationship wise, but I maybe keep them out as my friends, you know what I'm saying? Just so I won't, I will have somebody somewhere. It's just I don't want to be, I just don't want to be in a relationship with you because I don't want whatever you do to look bad on me. Sometimes when I feel like people are stupid and when one person makes a mistake, they kind of look at the other person like you're dumb for staying with them or trying to work it out or something like that. But I think that I don't know if that's going to be good to for somebody to be in a long term relationship if I just give up or just cut them off when they do one thing that's stupid. So what do you think you have to have in order to have a long term relationship?
Okay, like you said, you independent.
Mm-hmm.
So naturally, you're not gonna take a whole lot. You see what I'm saying? Say maybe for somebody different that's
Dependent.
not, yeah, that's not independent, they might feel like, well, I better, I mean, his good outweighs his bad. So you know, and he takes care of me, you know. So maybe I better stay in this relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because I need, you know what I'm saying? I need
Something.
financial help, and he got that. But in your case, you don't need financial help.
Mm-hmm. I don't have any.
You would
kids
love to
tied
have it,
them.
I'm sure, as
Yeah.
as everybody.
Yeah, I
But
would,
you
definitely.
don't. But
I
you don't
believe-
have to have it. So you're not looking for nobody. You know,
As a provider.
Like so,
type
if
of
I
thing.
cut them off, I'm not losing anything.
you're
by
not.
doing
You're
it.
not, because that's not. I mean, first you need to know what you're looking for. I'm looking for somebody that loves me solely for me,
Mm-hmm.
you know, or I want somebody that's in church,
Mm-hmm.
or I want somebody that likes to travel, because I like to travel.
Mm-hmm.
She definitely
So-
likes to
My
travel.
grandmother knows me, y'all.
Right, definitely, definitely. She kind of indirectly saying things to her.
So, you know, you got to figure out what you want.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go from there. And then,
But
Don't
Granny, did you know
accept-
everything you wanted when you met Granddaddy?
well,
Probably not.
sorta. Yeah, I did.
You
because from a young person,
Mm,
I knew what I wanted in life.
okay.
From a young person, because I would fantasize. Don't you ever fantasize?
Oh yeah, I know. I have a list of what
You,
I want.
Steven?
Actually,
Oh, yeah,
I didn't
for
wrote
sure.
it down.
Uh-huh. And
Yeah.
I hadn't
ain't-
wrote it down,
Yeah, I ain't
but
write it down,
from
but-
Well, they
Yeah.
weren't doing that probably.
from
Right,
I
not
mean,
back in the day.
Oh, they
They was
tell
like,
us
I
to do
know
that.
what I want,
okay,
but
they're
look.
calling me old school now. But from back in the day, I would say 17, I had visions of what I wanted in life.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted a really good job, you know. I wanted a husband, you know, I wanted to get married, and I wanted to be in love, and, you know, I wanted the nice home and a nice car, you
Yeah.
know, and just to live life happy ever after.
Uh-huh.
And I knew that at an early age.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you got to know what you want. So,
Right.
once you know what you want, then you can probably find somebody to fit that.
But I'm saying, once you find somebody to fit that and they do some stupid stuff or anything, how do you make it? Once you find that person that you like, how do you make it long term? Like lasts 37 years, like you and Granddaddy
You
did.
have to talk to each other. You know, you got to tell each other what it is that
Communication.
you like and your dislike. You know, say your guy friend do something stupid that you didn't really like.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and then you tell him about it.
Mhm.
And if he do it again,
Right.
well, you know,
Right. That
that's
he's not
not the one. But you
Okay.
gotta give him a chance.
a chance.
Yeah, because
Okay.
there's no perfect people.
True.
I
True,
mean,
true.
only God is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
You
that's
know,
right.
so when
How many chances is too many chances?
well, I feel like
Because I feel like in a long term relationship, you gotta give a few.
you
37 years.
But
you
what
probably
do you?
gave
Okay.
a few, Nana.
Let me ask this. Like, what should you give chances on, and what shouldn't you give chances on?
that would be
That depends on
totally
you,
up
right.
On
you,
the person?
to you,
Yeah.
the
Sure.
person.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like one of my big things
Mm-hmm.
was for Willie to mess around on me. That was one of my big things. He knew that
Yeah.
I totally
Disagree with that.
right
Okay.
didn't, you know, want him with other women. You know what I'm saying? I totally didn't want that. Not to say that he wasn't, you know. It's just a phrase that I've heard. All men are. Don't take it personal, Stephen, please. All, all men are dogs. You just got to learn to live with the dog.
Right.
I don't totally agree with that, but it's always in the back of my head. You know what I'm saying? So, but that was one thing with him that I didn't tolerate. So
Yes.
I wasn't, like I said, not that he wasn't messing around,
You
but I
he
wasn't going to be that fool and know it. I
Right.
know there's a lot of women
You got 5 daughters.
that
I mean,
know
4 daughters. 4
that
daughters.
they
Right,
man
4
is
daughters.
messing around,
So one of them might
but
have
they'll
known.
still
Mhm.
be with them.
Mhm.
But that's just that was one of the things I just wouldn't tolerate.
Okay.
Mhm.
So you gotta
So
know.
you just within yourself, it's whatever you won't tolerate.
Yeah, I say that all the time because I feel like I got friends too, and they feel like some stuff that they deal with, I wouldn't as far as them
Right.
some things that I deal with, they wouldn't want to deal with.
Right.
So I feel like you said, it's just the person.
I
It's
feel like
the
it's same
person.
too for males and females as well.
I'm sure.
Because it's just different though. Because I feel like males do a lot more. It be like humiliation things. With guys, it's just like preferential things. Like okay, like my girl don't like. Well, I know my woman cook, you know, but I like cooking. But another dude, he might not care about that as much. You know what I'm saying? But then the next guy, he might care about cooking, but his woman don't cook like that. He'd be frustrated
Right.
because she's not cooking for him.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But
right.
with us, we do more humiliating things like I don't want a man to cheat because that's major. You know what I'm saying? We'll do
Yep.
something like cheating or going out too much and being too friendly. That's where it'd be different. With the
Yeah.
men, it's just like
Right.
preferential things. But with women, it's like, hey, look, I'm not gonna accept that, and it's always something harsh because men, we typically take y'all through more than
Right.
y'all take us through. Typically.
Yep.
Yeah, so like I said, like then I still want to know like how to make. Well, I guess you said communication, knowing what you will and will not tolerate. But I feel like you had to tolerate some stuff being in a 37-year relationship.
I did.
Like, what
did.
what kept you strong in that? Was it the love
Oh.
or
Was it your faith?
I
Did
mean,
you pray to God a lot?
he
or?
definitely was
Oh,
the leader. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
definitely could. You definitely can. I feel like, and it's just me on the outside looking in. You can tell me something else, but I feel like you could lean on him to make the right decisions for y'all's family and everything.
well,
So,
I mean,
He was a
we
provider.
had to communicate
yeah.
a lot.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. Once you get into it and you start doing stuff together, like we bought this house. Well, actually, and then you start doing stuff in it, and y'all doing it together.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you don't wanna lose. I don't know. You don't want to lose what you got going.
Right.
That makes sense.
So is it like the momentum that you building up with this person?
Yeah, so to speak.
And it'll be like you will have to stop and then start that with somebody else, and you might feel like you so far with this person.
Right.
Why would you backtrack? Is that what you're trying to get
Yeah,
to?
I mean,
In a way, sort of, kinda.
sometimes sex ain't everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a part of the relationship,
Right.
Yeah.
and it takes more than sex to make a relationship
37 years.
last.
Yeah.
It really do. I mean, it
Probably for
takes
that
sex,
long.
but it takes a whole lot more. It takes commitment to
I'm about
each
to ask you
other.
what you think it is.
You got to be committed to
Mhm.
each other. It's like, I guess once you get into it, you don't want to let that person down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Uh-huh.
you committed to them.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people think that Willie was a good catch for me. When I met Willie, I was making more money than him. I made more money than Willie for a long time.
Oh.
So I was a good catch for Willie.
Right.
But everybody thought it was the other way around.
Because they probably just
He
saw.
fell in there for
Let
my
'em know.
shortcomings. You know what I'm saying?
Let them know.
So you may make more than your man. But I mean, I don't know if your man will accept that or not. You know what I'm
They ain't
saying?
gonna have
Willie knew
Right.
that. Trust me,
Ooh.
he liked it.
I
I mean,
The
he
thing-
liked that I was making.
Even though you were
Money.
making more, he was out. I don't want to knock you, Nana, but he was
Go
a
ahead.
lot more. I would say like structured or maybe like responsible.
Yes, he was. He was totally
Yeah.
So
the
he
more
made sure you catch your
responsible.
money.
He.
Oh, like you
spent
said,
a lot
your
of my
shortcomings.
money on me and my kids. I did. You know, but I had certain bills here. This house, I've always made the house payment.
Mhm.
Always. I got it in my name.
Yeah.
And I've always made the house payment.
Okay.
I've always made my car payment.
Yeah.
When I had my Lincoln, I paid that $600 a month.
Sheesh.
And I've always had a utility bill. Now, where he would fall in is like car insurance, something I might let slide. He's like,
Yeah.
you gotta have insurance on that car.
Y'all.
Yeah.
Or like my
did
cell
put it.
My finances are
phone,
okay.
you know, I let it get cut off. Well, I'll go get it cut back on tomorrow. You know,
Right,
now
right.
we gonna keep your cell phone going.
The house.
Yeah, we gonna keep. Yeah, everything's gonna keep going. You know, he was definitely more, but it takes two different type of people.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes
Mhm.
to make
A
it
balance.
happen. Yeah, to balance
So he
it out.
balanced you.
So the
sound
things
like.
that you don't have, he would have and stuff like that.
What I didn't have, Willie.
And vice
had it.
versa. The things
Yes.
that he didn't
Yeah.
have, you had.
Yes.
Vice versa.
Because you know, you might not like the way your man dress, but if you
Okay.
can go by and show him how you would like for him to look,
Mhm.
then you know what I'm
Right.
saying.
Yeah.
Right.
You
I
might
already
meet
know what you're
somebody
saying.
that
She definitely know.
I know.
that's really sweet to you and everything, but you be like, but I don't like the way he dressed.
Yeah.
That's something you can
Change.
probably fix. You
Yeah.
know,
Yep.
So you saying
you're
so
not gonna find them perfect.
yeah, so the things
Okay.
that you're not gonna find perfect about somebody, it could be fixable.
It's fixable.
Right, just
Most
make sure
of the time.
just make sure it's fixable for you.
So
And-
the people who look too perfect is probably the ones you want to stay away from, because some real
Some-
bad.
Something wrong in the
Right, they-
background.
Some
Something wrong in the
ain't
background.
right. Oh, you talking about like? You know who I'm talking about? Like,
Oh, don't
I won't say.
it.
We won't
Right, don't say
No,
it.
but no,
Don't put it
it's
on
a lot
wax.
of stuff.
Don't
It's
put it on
all, we
wax.
can talk about this offline. See,
I-
we already talked
Y'all
about it,
can
but
edit this, I know.
She-
but we
Put
can
it
talk
on
about this
wax.
offline. But he wasn't at all. It's just y'all just don't know all the stuff that's bad about him. You know what I'm
And-
saying?
But you gotta be in the relationship to know.
Right.
Yeah.
I
but,
mean, it's okay to have a relationship and it fails. That's okay, cause
Yeah.
you gotta
just try.
know.
you gotta know what you're doing. Don't
You
like, too.
gotta
That's how you learn
know.
too.
That's how you.
Definitely.
It is. You gotta be in. You can't be scared.
So I said,
You
and,
know,
and
you gotta-
then speaking on that, I could ask you because I was talking to my girlfriend, and then now we talking and we got serious and we're in a relationship now. But it's like I do want to make that step of like moving in together. But one thing I was thinking, it was like that too soon thing. But I feel like would that be? Do you think like moving in together is a such thing as too soon if you two are like in a committed relationship and y'all moving
Great question.
onward, and like y'all moving onward in that direction of y'all want to be together?
I don't think there's such a thing as too soon. You talking about with Dave?
Yes.
Okay.
Probably.
Okay. Yeah. Well, y'all been knowing each other at least a couple of months, right?
No, like I talked to her in college for a little while, and then like we actually been in a relationship. We had dated already previously, but then we just been in a relationship for a couple months.
Absolutely not.
Right.
I don't think it's too soon,
Okay.
honestly.
Because I just wanted to ask that from, because I know you, like I said, more experienced than Ariel had asked you a question. I was just thinking of that while we were talking, but because we have great communication. You know, we've talked it out, and, you know, sometimes we don't even have the TV on because we have, you know, we communicating for so long.
Well.
Yeah, so well, because I wanted that to be the basis of my relationship, to have the communication there.
Yeah.
And with you saying that, I was like, okay, now that makes me feel like I'm in a more comfortable spot, and makes me more confident in my decisions.
So I totally don't think it's too soon for you and her to move in together. I mean, because you need to know. I mean,
I agree with that.
You can decide once you move in with her, then you can decide if it's gonna work. Right. I mean, the only scary thing about moving in, that next step, like marriage, that'll be a harder step to take because you feel like we already doing it. Why do we?
Oh, you talking about
get married?
To get married because you're like, we already together.
You
we already
together.
Y'all
together. Making it all happen and.
Okay.
This conversation happened though, so that we can think about that now. That's definitely going to be something that you need to think about stability.
Exactly.
For sure.
This is going to help so many people.
Because like when you said stability, and I mean, Ariel can even tell you, you know, she can even contest to it. She always used to be like, you know, when you said you dreamed of what you wanted to, the relationship that you wanted to have when you got older, and Ariel be like, bro, I know you want to get married. Because I used to say it all the time.
Right. You got to know what you want.
And I did know that I want that, but then I feel like as I got older, I figured out, okay, so what type of woman would I want to be in that long-term relationship with? So what are some of the things that you want with in your relationship? For one, it ain't the most important thing. Well, the most important thing for me is to be somebody I can be comfortable around, like being myself with.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You can let your guards down, and you don't have to feel like in the back of your mind that I don't have to worry about her.
Okay, somebody you can trust.
Yes, the trust.
You want somebody that you can trust.
Yes.
Okay, that sounds fair.
Because somebody you can trust, somebody you can communicate with, somebody you can build with, and I like to eat too.
Right. So I want somebody that can cook.
Right, that can cook and clean.
Men would want that.
Yes, cook and clean.
They would.
I want you to cook and clean. I don't want to have to tell you either.
Right.
You know, because I'm gonna take out the trash. You know what I'm saying?
I heard that.
And then I'm if you need your tire changed on the side of the road, I'm gonna do the man stuff.
Right.
You know,
that's good.
Some of that stuff I did learn off of granddad. For real.
That's good.
I did learn
you're
some of that stuff
supposed to learn it from somebody. I mean, and your grandparents or your father
and dad.
Yeah.
So they were good role models for me, dad and granddad. So I did learn a lot of that from them, and I do the what do you call those the roles that a male plays and the roles that a woman plays. What is that? Gender roles? Yeah, I do believe.
Do you think that's important? Like for both? I think you did say that like for it to be balanced. Do you think like for the woman to do the womanly things and the man to do the manly things in a relationship is important, or but sometimes you got to take that role sometimes, like
I think that, but I also think like, you know, the woman cook, clean, cook, clean is basically, wash the clothes and stuff like that. But I feel like women can do some stuff like take out the trash. You know, they can do it. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it may not be their daily responsibility. But I feel like they could do it, to show them hey, I can handle this. I can take out the trash or,
Right.
I would even have learned how to cut grass, just to help out. Because the men have a lot that they got to do.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think honestly, we found out how much he was doing when, he passed because he was doing a whole lot every day. I feel like this man was probably up all day long doing stuff. Like,
yes.
Right, that we didn't realize.
He had to be.
He was. Right. Willie was doing a lot.
Yeah.
Because
He
we
really
wasn't here
was.
every day, so we would see him doing stuff, but we wouldn't see him doing everything.
Okay, so
Mhm.
this is
Plus,
kind
he
of
worked on the, on the side.
yeah.
He liked to do his work on the side to make extra money.
So
For
my
sure.
question is, how did you meet? How did you meet him? Where did you meet this man at?
I
So I
met
can find me a contractor
him.
husband.
I met Willie at Hardee's.
Mhm.
I wasn't a manager yet. I was a shift leader. And he would come in there, him and Johnny and Jan. Did y'all ever know Jan?
No.
I know y'all know
'Cause I know
Johnny.
you worked here. So.
But anyway, they would come in for breakfast every day. You know.
Hmm.
And Willie, you know, he smiled all the time and everything. You know. And one day he said, I wish you was my woman. Or
Really?
What?
he said, I wish you was my woman.
Ooh.
And and I was like, maybe I can be your woman.
Okay, he put the moves on it.
I knew he was working every day because he came in there in the work clothes, Samuels. It was Samuels at the time.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, now I need somebody to help me with these 3 girls. I need somebody financially
Yeah.
that can help me. And Willie was cute. He was cute then. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, he had a little afro and stuff. He looked really nice. I got some really good looking pictures of Willie.
Ooh.
And he was like bow-legged. I like that. You know, I was just like,
He
you
put
So
the
know.
and
moves
also
on
like
her.
you all like I think that's kind of how the girl like that's not kind of that is how every woman is in our family. Like we wait until they say something to us first. So you waited until Grenade was like, "What's up?" And then
Yeah,
he's like, so
he
what's
had to
up?
say. But see,
You killed with your day.
he knew that I was really talking to this other guy, and he would always say, "I know the guy that drives that Cadillac." You know, he used to tell me that all the time because John, this guy named John, had gave me that Cadillac, and he said, "I know the guy that drives that Cadillac." And
So he knew you was talking to.
but
him?
he knew he wasn't around.
Did he know him though?
He knew of him.
Okay.
Okay.
He knew
Ooh, I
of
can't
him.
stand it.
And he
Ooh.
probably
They be
felt
knowing each
like
other.
Let's
that.
go.
He probably felt like
You can't talk.
he
to
ain't right. He ain't right for you. Probably.
I'm right for
Right.
you.
Yes.
Right.
So.
Okay.
Yep.
How
And-
long did it take for him to start doing stuff for you? As far as like was that like a requirement for you?
Well,
'Cause I know
the
he was-
Cadillac would run sometime and sometime it wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
So then in the summertime, I would walk to Hardee's because it wasn't that far.
Yeah.
And Willie would always see me walking, and he would always pick me up.
What?
And one day I was in a cab. I took a cab, and he had me get out of the cab and get in his car. And after that, it was just like,
It was a wrap. Y'all
It's a
together?
wrap.
Was y'all together every day after that, or how
yeah,
long?
we was together all the
Look at
time.
him.
He
Swept
had
her
a
off her
really
feet.
cute. What kind of car did he have? It was really cute. It was gray and had like a burgundy top. Back then, it was
Ooh.
nice, you know. And I don't know why I can't think of the name of that car. But anyway, he started doing stuff. Like
Immediately.
I was young. I was 24 when I met him.
Yeah.
And he would come over to my house. I had like a card table for our dining room table,
Yeah.
and he was working at it's Belfort now.
All right, we back, y'all. Computer just decided to just malfunction on us, so we gonna start where we were at. So, Granny, you was saying something about how the table. What would you want to say?
The dining room table
Yeah.
was like a card table,
Okay.
and he worked at a furniture store or repair furniture store.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, he brought me a nice dining room table and some chairs. I mean, he started doing stuff that he knew that we needed. And like my daughter, I would buy her shoes a little bit too big, and they start turning up, and he would like, let's go get her some shoes because her shoes are turning up on the end.
He invested in us.
But he was just doing stuff that he know that a woman would want and need from a man.
Okay. And he was doing that immediately.
Right.
Immediately.
So from the get go, he was like, "Look, I can do what you need me to do." Okay?
He told me that.
Oh, he
What?
told her. See,
Yeah,
I ain't
he
even know
told
that.
me. He
I ain't
said,
even know that.
Yep. He said we could do better together than we could apart. So if we move together,
Yeah, he was smooth.
and so he moved. Yep, he moved out. I said, okay, we can try.
How okay, so Steven was talking about how he was contemplating whether or not it was too early or not. So how early did you guys move in?
Yeah, into your
Together.
relationship.
I would want to say like 2 to 3 months.
Wow, really? And
2 to 3 months.
37 years.
That's crazy. And it lasted 37. Now I see why she said that.
2 to 3 months.
And I never knew that. That's knowledge on my brain right there.
So the fact that you had 4 girls that are you didn't have 4 at the time.
3.
You had 3.
Yeah.
Because y'all had the 4th one.
Yeah.
How was like when did you think about that or anything? Like how like what did you consider when you were thinking about him moving in, like, or was it just like you were in love and you were like, let's just figure it out together?
We sort of figured it out together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We figured it out together.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome. Well, Steven, I mean, like, you see how Granny did.
Right, exactly.
I ain't got, honestly, I think that Granny, another thing that she said, but she didn't really say it towards this, but she said she was in control of the house. I think her name was probably the only one that was on the house. So it's like,
that's what she said.
if you do decide to move in with your girlfriend or whatever, you know, make sure it's a way out. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you put both of y'all names as primary on the lease or something like that, it's going to be hard if something
it'd be
happens for
harder.
one to move out or something like that.
Definitely.
That is true.
So I think that
So she
Granny
made it
was
make sense.
prepared, you know what I'm saying, even though nothing happened. but
Right. I was most
She was still in
definitely
the-
prepared.
he was
Yeah,
prepared.
prepared.
To
She had that
Yes.
contingency plan in her brain.
Yep. But
Like,
see, but there's another plan though that you could have, and that's marriage.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and that stability thing.
Yeah,
See?
like
There
you
it
said,
is.
that
That's what I'm saying.
stability.
You just gotta know what it is that you want,
Mm-hmm.
and then proceed that way.
Yeah.
So my question, another question, I know you have 4 daughters who have children. I've always been in the thought that I feel like having a child to me is a little bit more of a burden on a relationship. Not necessarily a bad burden. I'm just saying it's more of it's more heavier than being married to me. Because you definitely have to deal with that person whether you like it or not
So
for the
another-
rest of your life. So what do you think about
Yeah.
that?
What? Okay. What are you saying? Having children already?
I feel like having children, period. Not before you guys have
Uh-huh.
children. I'm
Yeah.
saying, like, let's say if me and him are together and we don't have any children. I feel like signing a marriage certificate is not as serious as having a child.
Oh, okay.
So what do you think in that nature? Would you think marriage is more serious or having a child is more serious?
Ooh.
What do you think?
Mm,
Ooh, that's a tough one right there.
yeah, that's tough. So you, ask the question again.
Like, do you feel like having a child is more serious than being married? I feel like
Are you saying is it more of a commitment? Or are you just
yeah,
saying
more of a
like-
commitment. Do you think having a child is more a commitment to a person than being married is to a person? Because I feel like if you have a child, you have to deal with that person for 18 years. There's a kind of a way out of a marriage. You have a
Right.
piece of paper, you can go tell somebody, I don't want
Right.
to be in this contract anymore.
So the
Get me out of
child-
this contract. But the
Right.
child is always going to
Yes,
be there.
That's right.
And you always going, even if something, God forbid, something happens to the child, you still got that soul tie to
Right.
each other. So I feel like a lot of times, the reason why I'm asking this is probably
Uh-huh.
why I probably need to explain that, but I feel like black men always, because I only deal with black men, but
Right.
they always want to have kids, and they don't understand that I feel like kids are way more serious than being married. They're like, I don't want to get married, but y'all want to have kids. Like, I feel like you're going to have to deal with this person for the rest of your life. So
If you
why
got a
don't you
child.
just get
Right,
married?
get married
Like,
anyway.
Right.
But,
Okay.
well,
I see what you're saying.
I'm a black man, but I say, like, if I'm going to have, well, since I don't have kids, let me start with that. I don't have kids, and I'm 25.
Mhm.
So I do want kids though, but I feel like if I'm going to have kids, I don't have to necessarily be married when I'm having the kids, but whoever the woman is, I have to know that I want to be with her, you know what I'm saying, for a long period of time or for the rest of my life, or I want to be committed to her, you know what I'm saying, for a long period of time. I want,
So
like
y'all
I said, I
can
want her to be,
together
yeah,
raise your kids.
yeah, because I would want that. I would want my child to see a home where it's married. Like, if we're not married initially when we had a child, that's not as big. I feel like as long as we're working towards that and
Right.
progressing towards that.
Absolutely.
so do you think, like, I guess when we kind of answer that question, do you think that if you have kids, I guess that's probably not even a good question because I mean that's obvious.
Should you get married?
Yeah, like I feel like that's
Right,
probably kind of
right.
obvious, like because you said stability, like.
Right, in the marriage, and then I guess, yeah.
Do you think it puts a hindrance on your like put a hindrance on everything if you're not married with kids?
No,
No,
You know?
you can still have the same. Okay.
because I
Okay.
wasn't married.
Yeah.
You're definitely prime example.
I
Right.
was not married.
She definitely was.
But like,
But
you know,
it's hard then it's like, I don't know. It's the type of person that you had. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So
and the type
sometimes
of relationship
that y'all
too.
had, you know, I don't know. But y'all had, I mean, back then, I don't know if it was as strong as it was now or whatever.
Right.
But how did, like, you.
It was stronger.
It
The
was-
beginning
really?
was stronger
Why do you say that?
than the end. Because, like I said, in the end, you know, and people change,
Mhm.
you know, and I started doing stuff,
Mhm.
you know, that probably wasn't good for our relationship
Yeah.
because I started gambling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I would most definitely, in the beginning, we were vacationing every year, you know,
Yeah.
fixing on the house,
Talked about that. Too.
doing all kind of stuff, you know. But in the end, then, you know, I started gambling, and then my money wasn't there to
Right.
help us with vacationing
Uh-huh.
and fixing on the home and stuff. So it was, and in the beginning, it was.
Okay.
It was there. So it was definitely stronger in the beginning than it was in the end.
Okay, so do you think that relationships are looked at differently than they were back then? Like back then, was it like did you guys have the notion that you like marriage was the goal back then?
Right. Is that
Like,
was that
was that
like a common theme between out of everybody? Was that like, okay, we know like when we get in a relationship, marriage is the end goal?
Yeah, because now I don't feel like that because you have, like I said, you have 4 daughters and most of them aren't married.
Right.
So it's different now than it probably was back then.
I would say that it's
Was it more expected back then? Because I feel like now, kind of just like not really.
I have friends, and they were in relationships and not married. For instance, Shug and Big Mike.
know that.
They wasn't married, so I don't know if I can
Wow.
say that it was expected back then. I really
Wow, I
can't
did not
say
even
that.
know that.
But yeah, I have friends that wasn't married either. So
Yeah, all her friends were in long-term relationships.
Definitely.
And I did not know that because
mhm.
just looking from the outside looking in, they looked married. That's probably what everybody thinks about you, Granny. Like the people at the card game and their kids, they probably thought you and Granny was married too. So
They probably
it looks
did.
like
Yeah, right.
Why
It
wouldn't
just
y'all be?
assume like, and if
And-
y'all not, then they give y'all a relationship the respect of a marriage.
But we would always refer to each other as my wife or my husband.
Did y'all?
Oh, we did. See, well, there you go. There you go.
We did.
So I feel like Granddaddy he just knew that things. I don't know. He just knew that what his responsibilities were. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, you as well. So it's like, was that learned, or
Was it just?
did you have to make sure that he did what he had to do, or was it always like, I already know I have to do this and I already know?
Right, throughout the whole
he
relationship.
sort of throughout the relationship,
Mm-hmm.
he like already knew.
Mm-hmm.
He already knew,
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, he would cut the grass and fix stuff in the house. He was a real like handyman type man.
That's yeah.
Do you want like
I want a
I
contractor.
know you want that.
They just
Because
high fived
be
y'all.
quick-
They
be
just high
fixing
fived.
like they just know that they have to do what they have to do. Like if something's wrong with our car, like you could just be like, he'll try to go figure it out. You
right.
know,
Try to figure it out.
it's a lot of stress that you don't have to.
Right. It take yes. That's why I say it's two-sided.
Yeah.
But you know, men like to eat. Most
You
men
make sure he ate
love
Yeah,
to
definitely.
eat, and you gotta cook.
If you
If
don't
you don't
cook
know
or-
how to cook, then you probably
But, I mean,
need
you
to
can-
learn.
He could, or he made sure that he eats.
Yeah, you can make sure you eat. But I'm gonna tell you, men, a lot of them like home cooked food.
Mm-hmm. They
A
do.
lot of men like home cooked food.
So
They
you gotta
don't.
make sure
They
you in
don't
the
like
kitchen.
to eat out a
They
lot.
said you better go to YouTube University and learn.
Yep. Do you like home cooked?
Oh yes.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. See.
Yes, I do.
His
I be feeling
girlfriend-
bad too, Stephen.
Oh
I
my
be
God.
thinking, I mean,
What?
seriously, I
What?
need to cook my grandson a home cooked meal because I know he wants some home cooked food.
Oh my God, his girlfriend brings him meals from her
God,
house when
well,
she
good.
comes over. I'm like, she already has him a plate. It's
That's
so
good.
funny.
So
Definitely.
see, she knew what to do.
Yeah.
The way to a man's heart is through his stomach.
You think that's true?
Yeah.
She
I
said
do.
yeah.
I do because I fixed Willie a meal when I met him.
Which one? Tell us what it was.
It was pork chops, candy yams,
Ooh.
green beans,
Ooh.
and macaroni and cheese.
Ooh.
They were fried pork chops.
Wow.
And girl,
She hooked it up.
he threw down on that plate, and I think that hooked him.
Every time every time she cooks, y'all, every holiday, Granddaddy ate first.
Definitely made sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so from your point of view, for the men, I know I've been asking for me, or for women,
Mhm.
what relationship would you give a man to keep the relationship going? If
Relationship
you wanted to
advice.
have a long-term relationship,
Yeah.
what do the men?
What would you give?
What relationship would you give? Like, what advice
What
would you give
advice
them?
would you give a man?
Oh,
like,
for to have
to keep your woman around for a long period of time?
For your grandsons.
Right, for your grandsons and all the young
Right,
men out
right.
there listening to the podcast.
Well, I mean, do your part as a man,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and that be financial, be loving,
Mm-hmm.
and caring. Like you said, keep the line of communication open,
Okay.
you know, and don't cheat.
Uh-huh.
Don't cheat.
I feel like cheating is just honestly you. If
Lack
it's
of
something that
self-control.
you go know is wrong, and you say I'm not going to do that, and they do it anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's why it's cheating. It's bad.
Right.
Like that's the only reason why women have a problem with it. Cause it's like you agree not to do it.
Right.
You're
But
doing it.
I feel like it's harder nowadays for most men because it's under like more peer pressure, you know.
Mhm.
And then like with the media, I feel like the media controls people's minds. You know what they
You do?
what they see and what they listen to is an influence on them. You know, the music you listen to and the environment that you're around. So the people that you're around, if they saying, "Oh, forget these women, all this and that," and then people don't want to be the oddball out. You know, they
But
don't
you
want to
gotta
be
be
the one.
strong.
Yeah,
Right, that's
like
what I'm
You
that
gotta
is
be
not an
a
excuse.
strong. You
I'm
gotta
not-
be a strong
I'm not saying it's an
person.
excuse, but that's how it is out here.
You know, you got
That's what I've observed.
somebody here that you don't want to let them down,
Yeah.
and you don't want to disappoint them. Then
yeah.
you won't.
I think that what you're saying, Steven, is more so like you're still young, so I think that's what young people think. I think once you get to a certain age, the men that are still doing that is because of their their dads or their uncles, or maybe that's how they were raised. But I wouldn't say the media. I would say just how they were raised. Like, oh, my dad had a wife and she did this. Oh, my uncle had something. It's more so people around you that influence you that. But like Granny said, you gotta be stronger than that. We are old now.
You gotta
go by that no more.
You gotta know that what you have at home is worth everything to you.
Right.
Not to mess that up.
Right.
So you just gotta be strong.
Yeah. So men, you gotta be out here. We gotta be more mentally stable out here. And don't feed into the ways of temptation.
So communication, honesty.
But if you together in what you're doing, you ain't gonna have time. Me and Willie didn't have time to really mess around.
Right.
We were too busy doing stuff together. We didn't have time.
So
because we was going, like I said, we was going on vacations. We were fixing on our home. We was going picking out stuff.
Yeah.
We really didn't have a whole lot of time.
So
and at the end of the day, we was tired and ready to go to bed. We ain't really have time.
So it's indulging in each other.
Get into each
Invest
other.
in each other, basically. Time. Invest time into each other.
Yeah, and you really won't have time to be
out here doing nothing else because you investing your time into your significant other.
Into your relationship. You really will. And
Yeah.
we did a lot of investing time into our relationship.
Time counts.
I mean, me and Willie was here a lot together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We like to lay around and watch TV together.
Yeah.
We like just talking to each other, just being around each other. So, I mean, if you can keep on interested, keep your relationship interesting.
Okay.
And conversate with them. And they'll be too busy trying to get to you to try to see what's next.
Try to see what's out
what y'all
there.
were gonna talk about, or what y'all were gonna do.
Yep.
Where we going to eat? Or,
Yeah, what we doing
what show
next?
we going to see?
Yeah, what we doing?
Get
basically.
you don't really have time to.
Right, get in tune with what y'all doing, and y'all won't worry about what the rest of society got going on.
Right, y'all just into each other.
That makes a lot of sense. So y'all hear that, y'all, ladies and gentlemen out there, invest time into your spouse. So find a spouse that's worthwhile and invest into them mentally, physically, spiritually. So.
Yeah, it sounded like communication was a big thing that got you guys through a lot of things in your relationship from what you were saying. Honesty, really.
Yeah.
And I think we was talking about this offline, but I was saying my problem, and Granny helped me figure it out, was was that I was raised by my mother who put on us a lot of it's not what you say, it's what you do. Like, we'll be like, well, Mom, we this, we that. She's like, you're not doing this, so this, you're not really feeling like that. You know what I'm saying? So when a man does something to me that is dumb or anything like that, I relate it to our relationship and like how you feel about me, because it's like, if you do this, and that, then that means that you really can't feel this way if you do this. And Granny was like, no, that's not necessarily
Not
true.
necessarily. No. Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Now, if you give them a chance, because no one is perfect, and if you forgive them and give them another chance, and they do it, again, then I might, but take a second look.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But ain't nobody perfect. like I said, I caught Willie messing around like the first 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You
That's
know.
the first 3 weeks, though, man.
Yeah.
That ain't nothing.
But I'm just saying, you
That's
hadn't
still
been knowing
something.
your boyfriend that long
Mhm.
when you found out he was messing
No, I
around.
did know him
You-
for a
you
long
did?
time. Yeah, that's the problem. Like it was like he was trying to make me the one who was the bad person in relation. Like I was doing this and I was doing that, and then and all the while he was probably the one doing everything. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was like, nah. But like I said, I don't necessarily just in the relationship. A lot of times I just still be cool with the person. We still do the same things. It's just I have a real problem with them doing stupid things and then looking bad on me. I don't
Right.
want that to come back on me. I don't want people to associate us together. A lot
Right,
of
you
times
don't
I don't
wanna
even
commit.
follow them on social media or anything. I don't even
Right.
want to. If you liking somebody's stuff, comment nothing. I don't even want to know because I'm
Right.
going to take it there. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Yeah.
sometimes I even don't even have none of that on there because
Right.
I don't even want to see it. Because like you said, you might not even be doing that stuff to me, but I feel like if you doing that, you can possibly feel like you're telling me you're feeling every day.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I be having to separate myself from that, but I just gotta understand that that doesn't necessarily equate to them not feeling some type of way
Right.
about me.
That's right.
It's just them being mean and stupid.
Right. Yes.
And that is the end of the podcast. Thank you
Yes.
so much, Nana, for
Thank
being
y'all.
on here and helping me through these problems.
Thank
Thank
you
y'all
for
for being with us.
allowing me to speak.
And telling us about our grandfather, R.I.P. to him. He was
Right.
it was
Yes.
wonderful. Their relationship was definitely look from on the outside looking in. I don't know how it was in the end, but it looked great. It looked like they were at least trying to make something work. They made a beautiful family.
Oh,
We're all
thank
very,
you.
very, very close.
Thank you.
Because of
We
them.
are very.
Definitely.
It's because of
we
y'all.
are.
We're,
Yeah,
we,
y'all
y'all raised us like
y'all
that.
are
Y'all
the
raised our
foundation.
parents like that. We were like that because of y'all.
Right.
So.
Because y'all are the
We don't
foundation.
feel like
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like in our family that we're aunts, uncles. We feel like mom. That's my second mom, third
Right.
mom. You know what I'm saying? All these
You know,
people are my mothers.
Very
and
close.
These are all my brothers and sisters.
Close.
Yeah.
Close
I love
knit.
brothers and sisters.
Close knit family.
A lot of people feel some type of way about our family because of
They
how close we
do.
are.
They do. Just so y'all know that.
We do.
A lot of people sort of like hate on us. They do. They
We
really
just
do.
love
And I'm
each
glad
other.
that y'all
like, it's
know
like
that.
we're just together.
We
We love each
are.
other.
We
We're
do.
not trying. It's like a lot of times
It's
when people are
natural.
envious like
Yeah.
that,
Definitely.
it's because we're just living and we're happy and they're like, why can't we be like that?
Yeah.
It's just like
A lot of people speak on it.
we deal with a lot
Mhm.
of stuff in our family all the time. It's a lot of
Yep.
girls. It's a lot to deal
Right.
with.
Right.
More
But
drama.
we always get over it and we just that's
You're
all
right.
it
That's
takes.
what family. That's what it means
That's
to be
what I say all the
family.
time. Like
You get over whatever it is.
Yeah.
You get over it, and you gonna love them anyway.
Because at the end of the day, y'all still family.
Mm-hmm.
so thank you so
You don't
much.
have nobody but your family.
You don't have
Definitely.
nobody but your family.
And then, she put the wisdom on our brain. So make sure that y'all learn from all the lessons that was given today, okay?
Yeah, if y'all like the podcast, let us know. Like, subscribe, everything, comment, and
Repost, share.
You know, tell my grandmother she did great. She did a good job. Thanks, Nana. I appreciate
You're
you.
welcome.
All right, thank y'all. Bye.